Alright, good morning, afternoon, evening, all that good stuff. We're actually watching a new, I guess a new channel here that we're reacting. But I've seen this person's video all the time. It is by BlueJay, and the video is called How to Survive the Great Depression. So this just came out like 2 days ago, I believe. And I've been holding off onto it so I can react to it. And I've been liking all the BlueJay videos and everything, so I figured since it just came out, I'll watch it because I know it's gonna be good. So let's get right onto it. Let's see how this goes. It is 22 minutes.
Do you ever watch rich people pretend that—
Oh. Hold on, let me get my audio. Alright. Start over. Got my headset muted. Alright.
Do you ever watch rich people pretend to have problems in The Great Gatsby and find yourself thinking, haha, I love the Roaring '20s? Well, you're stupid. Stupid spot on, that is. The 1920s was a period of great prosperity here in the good old US of A. We got jazz, vehicles, vehicular manslaughter. People spammed Fortnite emotes and buildings looked like Bioshock. The Roaring '20s was a dream for gamers like you. But of course, no game is complete without its microtransactions. And luckily for you, there's plenty of them in the—
Oh my god, that is so old. Oh my goodness. He actually got that saved. Oh my god, that is so old. That's like when the game first came out, almost. Not when it first came out, but maybe like a little bit after that. Oh my goodness.
New age of consumerism.
Sorry.
People moved to cities, got fancy new jobs, and partied away their incomes faster than a chronic gambler can say just one more parlay. The BlueJay, you ask. How can I afford all these fun new things? One word, Alex. The stock market. To keep up with the cosmopolitan life, you need only turn to the infinite money printer that is OnlyFans. Excuse me. Stock trading. This thing only goes up after all. Got paid by the boss man? Throw it in the stock market. Wife marching to her first vote? Hey, as long as it goes by Wall Street. This new Wonder Bread stuff sure is awesome. It'd go great with some peanut butter and stocks. Golly, these flappers' legs go all the way up. You know what else goes all the way up? Stocks. Okay, I'm running out of money now. Not to worry. Just take out a loan and buy more stocks. Using them as collateral, of course. Is that wise? So long as they're always worth the same or more, which they will, because remember, the funny number line only goes up. That's right, Alex. In this era of opulence, your future will always be as bright and prosperous as those radiant marble pillars. Well, that wasn't too bad. At least I'll have some money. At least I'll have a little money.
Nope.
I'm poor, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yes. But don't get too down, champ, because today I'm going to teach you how to survive the Great Depression.
Yeah, GG to that one. It was suggested in my Discord. Come stop by.
Surviving the Great Depression will be no easy feat, for not only will you have to deal with a financial disaster, but you'll also have to adjust to the cultural norms of the time. Say, Alex, have you ever had an ancestor commit a Depression-era crime by being too much of a romantic stud? What? Well, one of my relatives did, a fact that I just discovered with today's sponsor, MyHeritage. MyHeritage revealed one of my great-grandmother's relatives was an auto manufacturer who got sued for something called alienation of affections, an outdated law that made it illegal to damage a marriage by being an adulterous lover, showing that I clearly have a biological knack for breaking up families. This discovery was only made possible with MyHeritage's instant discovery feature, where after adding in your parents and grandparents, their massive 30.
So I kind of got intrigued into this a little bit. Alright, I'll shout out to my channel, my second channel is DK Animation 669. That's my little animation channel. I have 4 videos up there. I'm trying to work on the 5th one now. I'm procrastinating on it. But I'm sure I'll get that pushed out. I'm hoping by the end of February or early March. That's when I get to it. But I'm gonna start working on that this weekend though. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys having a great day. I hope you guys are staying warm, all that good stuff.
They also have a 14-day free trial to play around to your heart's content. All you have to do is use my QR code on screen or click click the link in the description to sign up. Discover your family's story today, vices and all, with my
I let it continue, but
And
this
now, back to the video. If you're trying to survive the Great Depression, keep in mind the greatness of the Depression will vary depending on the country you're in a way that's similar to selecting a video game difficulty. I find that a good rule of thumb is that how much a country suffered is inversely proportional to the quality of their bagels. The Soviet Union, they're still trying to figure out bread. Terrible bagels, Great Depression was easy mode. France, they're able to grasp the basic shape, but most of the time only get halfway there. Decent bagels, medium difficulty. United States,
good, though.
Second highest Jewish population after He Who Shall Not Be Named, got bagels so good they equate...
He Who Shall Not Be Named.
The world's smartest man, incredible bagels, Great Depression hard mode. But of course, every rule has its exceptions. As while Jersey boasts the hidden Nightmare Depression difficulty due to additional challenges, their bagels seem severely lacking as there was nobody around to make them. Oh my, well, I'd choose the Soviet Union then. Excuse me? I said Uti. The land of Russia was a beacon on the horizon that not even the fear of communism could extinguish. For in 1931, over 100,000 Americans applied for positions in the Soviet Union to escape their plight. Of those, 10,000 were hired, swarmed Russian cities, and kicked off their new life as American immigrants. They opened American schools, organized sports teams, and even saw baseball become a national sport in 1932. That's right, by moving to the Soviet Union, life will be pretty good in 1931 to 1937. For while you're thousands of miles from the Great Depression, you're now at ground zero for the Great Purge. And most of these American immigrants will be swept up in mass arrests, working the gulags, or getting the Russian goodbye. Which, let's be honest, is still better than having to live eating whatever this is. Okay, never mind, I pick France. Come on, why are you wasting my time, Alex? Excellent choice! After all, what better place to experience the Depression than the world's biggest producer of it? Now, it's important to keep in mind that suffering is a matter of perspective. For some, unemployment rates of 25% and productivity dropping by half is called an economic disaster. But for an anthropology grad, that's just called Tuesday. However, statistics are just a generalization for a given population and don't apply equally to everybody. For example, many workers would lose their jobs and savings as their industry suffered and banks closed. But if you're black, your government might throw in syphilis for laughs as well. Naturally, men and women...
So I watched that video. It wasn't BlueJay. I think it was someone else about that whole syphilis thing and stuff. It's disturbing. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, that is pretty disturbing. That's all I have to say. I'm just stopping just because.
Also experience different struggles in the big sad. For instance, if you're a lady, it'd be best to keep a level head through all the stress. We can't have you becoming hysterical now. Yeah, I walked in the house and she just couldn't stop freaking out. That's because you lost all our money in GameStop stocks! See what I mean, Doc? Sweetie? Look at me, look at me. How dare you! Here comes the airplane.
Not the eye.
Wow, she's way more calm. Yeah, I just kind of stabbed a spoon in their eye until I feel things get a little squishy and then pull it out. Oh, like a lobotomy? Oh, what?
Oh.
You know, the medical procedure? Medical? But for now, Alex.
Oh, no. Not that hard. Yeah, I think that was like the 40s and 50s. Maybe it's like the 50s or something like that. Oh, yeah, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, getting back to where toward the beginning where they mentioned about, hey, we got money, just throw it in the stocks. Go to the bank, get a loan, throw it in the stocks. That is insane that they've done that. And if that was the actual, I'm sure that's probably likely. If that was like the actual result of the stock market crash, that is crazy. The fact that everyone put their money toward the stock market to get money, make money, and then it crashed. And then the thing I remember when I was reading about it is that people try to go to the banks to get their monies out because the stock market crashed, and there was no more money to give out. Like, you would literally have lines out the door at the banks, and once there's no money there, they can't give out no more money. That's it. And you could have, and I can imagine happening that today too. Where everything's now everything's like credit and digital and stuff like that and everything. But can you imagine if everyone went to the bank today and grabbed all the money out of their accounts? It's impossible. And banks do not have that much money just laying around like that either. They have a certain amount that they have, and then that's it. And then they bring money in, they take money out for, whatever, and that's it. They don't have, $10 million or $200 million or something like that just sitting in banks like that. And you guys that don't know, and I'm not surprised that banks probably do use their own money when we put it in there, allegedly. So, I mean, yeah, so even the banks kind of invest our own money and do other things with it. And then that's why if everyone went to the bank at the same time and grabbed money out, that's going to be a problem. Anyway, let's keep going. I went too much of a tangent.
Let's say you find yourself as a poor, stupid, regular man. Feels right at home, huh? Hey. Well, unfortunately for you, money doesn't grow on trees. Unless they're cola trees. And you're a soda company.
Oh my god.
Learn more in this video. Stop advertising. No. But while not even an economic disaster can stop Americans from coughing up their last penny for a bottle of Coke, kickstarting a soda company will be quite difficult when your only down payment is pocket lint. So we gotta find you a job. If you're looking for a depression-proof industry, all you need to do is ask yourself, what can I literally not live without? A question that all of us should pretty much have the same answer to.
Sure.
Jack Daniels, cigarettes, diapers, and Shirley Temple movies.
Okay. I guess. Sure. Fine. Sure. I thought it was something more realistic, but sure, that works.
Careers in such sectors often required skilled labor, higher education, or being an adorable...
I mean, to be honest, some people can't live out those certain things too. Cigarettes, alcohol. So, he's actually probably not far from the truth.
5-year-old child. All traits that, unfortunately, do not apply to you. Okay, maybe one. Aw, there's that smile. Here, take this. What? Quick, shoot the target. Now! Oh my god. What have I done? Well, normally that'd be a cardinal sin, Alex, but in 1930s Texas, that's what we call a hard day's work.
I'm about to say, is this where gangsters and bootleggers and all that stuff comes through? No, that was Prohibition. Prohibition happened in 1919, I think, or 19. No, this isn't it, right? I don't think so. 19th of November, 1919. Yeah, Prohibition was finishing. No, it was finishing afterwards, I think. So I think they repealed the Prohibition to get people to have more jobs. This might be a time where, yeah, bootleggers and gangsters and mobsters and stuff like that. I think this might be it.
Back in the 1920s, Texas saw a boom of bandits bamboozling big bucks from banks. So, to stem the bleed of stolen cash in the thieving pockets, the Texas Bankers Association established the Dead Bank Robber Reward Program. In an attempt to incentivize civilians to take matters into their own hands, the program rewarded individuals $5,000 for every bank robber they stopped. That's almost 95 grand today, or 379,883.04 gumballs. As you can imagine, with that much tasty taffy on the line,
it was
almost more profitable to loiter around and stop bank robbers than to actually do the robbing. Although the program's terms did have one catch. Got one of them bandits here for you. So where's my money? Read the fine print, buddy.
Yeah.
So, this is going to be a little awkward. The program stipulated that the bandits must be pumped full of lead in order to earn the reward money. And the TBA...
Pumped full of lead. I'm gonna read this real quick. Hold on. We pay for each bank robber legally killed while robbing this bank. That's crazy. The amount of work for each robber would be the total collected from the subscribing member of $5 per subscriber. But the total amount also not exceed 5,000. Does not apply to night attacks. Wow. Association would not give 1 cent for live bank robberies. Oh wow, they are rarely identified, rarely converted and more rarely stay in penitentiary when sent there. Oh wow. All which are troublesome. Oh wow. And costly to our own government. That is insane. Today we literally put everyone in prison. Even people that don't belong there, we still put them in there for life. In order to protect the lives, people such as banks to protect properties, and protect the property of such banks, and prepare to pay for any member of such robbers and holdups. So killed while they are robbing and holding up as reward as describing members. Bank was fired in the daytime. Interesting. Only the Texas Bank Association shall determine whether or not payment of this reward shall be hereunder, and to whom such payment shall be made. Interesting. The reward is effective January 15th, 1933, and all other rewards, offers, and statements are canceled and suspended hereby. That is interesting. That is interesting. Can you imagine if they did this today? There'd be such an uproar. It'd be so controversial if you put out that, hey, if you go ahead and, rewards if you captured and, sent a PDF file into the heavens or something, you would get, $100,000. Like, can you imagine if that happened today? It's literally almost pretty much putting a bounty on the top of their heads. I'm curious on how many people actually go through with that and actually be a part of it. But that's absolutely insane. This would be very controversial today.
Really hammered home that killed part, specifying that they would not pay even a single penny for breathing ones. Naturally, when all you need for life-changing money is a dead body, a smoking gun, and your pinky promise that they were a bank robber, perhaps you can start to see some flaws in this whole program.
True,
okay, so that's
true.
$5,000 per robber. How many were there? I don't know, I lost count. What?
What?
Sweet
Oh
Jesus.
my
It was an
goodness.
insane heist, officer. Is that the staff? Yeah, they were all in on it. It was crazy. Help! This man is insane! He's reaching! The program was a disaster, resulting in the deaths of many innocents labeled as bank robbers for a quick buck. One time in Staten, 3 Mexican laborers were picked up by a sheriff who promised them work if they waited outside of a bank. As they stood there, a church suspiciously caught fire across the street. With the town distracted, the sheriff and his friend rushed to the bank and shot the workers, killing 2 of them in cold blood. However, the third ended up living to tell the tale, resulting in the 2 men's arrest and subsequent confession. Another time, 4 officers shot and killed 2 men at the back door of an Odessa bank despite them not having any bank robbing equipment or criminal records. A man had tricked them into showing up at the spot of their killing, planning to split the $10,000 reward with the officers. To sum it up, you can really think of this program like the recent Game Awards show. Overall, a quirky and interesting time, but in the end, the pig ruins everything. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, I can see that definitely be an issue for sure. So again, the reason why that would not be happening today, I mean, as what he's mentioned, that they will literally frame other people potentially for doing stuff like that and then get the reward. Yeah, so there's no proof of him doing it. It's like, hey, he was doing something and I got him. Like, yeah, we can't do that today.
If I feel comfortable killing people for money. I understand, Alex. I'm the same way. I too prefer doing it for sport. But worry not, buddy. There are still options for a boring goody two-shoes like you. If job security is your concern, it doesn't get much more stable than working for the man. And in 1935, FDR took a gander at all this homeless malarkey and was like, oh my gosh. The traffic, and established the Works Progress Administration. A part of the New Deal, but not the first New Deal, the second New Deal, or the New Deal, the WPA was a government program that employed millions of uneducated men to build public infrastructure for about $50 a month, the equivalent of $1,200 today. While not a spectacular income, it is still $50 more than you had before, and you'd be doing good honest work like building over 600,000 miles of road, 10,000 bridges, buildings, and even some iconic landmarks like the Griffith Observatory. Oh, wow. Well, this does sound like a respectable job, at least. I'm sure my local community would really appreciate the work. They sure will, especially your Japanese neighbors, who will get to admire all your hard work up close in the internment camps you build and staff for them. Oh,
dang it! I completely forgot about that. The internment camps that we did to the Japanese people. I completely forgot about all that. Yeah, that was during World War II, I believe. Because if I'm not mistaken, with Japan bound Pearl Harbor, like after that, the either American people or the government didn't trust Japanese people, and they pretty much, I think, assumed they're all spies or something like that, and then they start putting those people and like throw them into internment camps throughout the time until the war was over, I believe. Yeah, I completely forgot about that time period. I forgot that part happened. I'm so thinking about like the Holocaust and what happened to that. I forget that this also happened in the U.S. But this wasn't like, I don't think it was as bad as the Holocaust though. Like we didn't like just go around and start throwing them into the spirit gods or something. I think we just put them into all camps and like pretty much just monitor them because we couldn't trust them, and the government think that the Japanese people were spies from Japan. So yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, let's keep going. It's just
like a summer camp? What? No, dude. Japanese internment camps?
No.
World War II?
Yeah.
Where Japanese Americans were put into concentration camps? Who's your history teacher? You! Oh. Well, you should know that. Then why do you teach me pointless shit like Texan bank robber bounties? I don't know, man, because it's fun and whimsical. Come on, stop tweaking in the street. Let's take this inside your place. What place? Oh. Excellent segue, Alex. Now that we've secured you an income of questionable morality, it's time to find you a place to live. Let's say you're looking for housing in the symbolic heart of the Depression, the Big Apple. Although these days it's more the Big Frown. Okay, so where can I find a good place to rent? That's the neat part. You don't. Riding the coattails of the market crash, mass evictions, foreclosures, and plummeting housing values swept the nation, forcing millions into homelessness. And for the home full, things weren't all sunshine and roses either. 30% of New York's house population lived in deteriorating and decrepit tenements and slums. While public housing won't be a thing till later in the Depression, housing by the public was luckily in full swing. So pack your sock monkeys and greet your block junkies, you're moving into your local Hooverville. Where's that? Why, anywhere you want it to be, Alex. Hooverville homes were unique in that they only needed 3 simple ingredients: rotten wood, soggy cardboard, and diphtheria. It may not look like much, but as we've said before, suffering is a matter of perspective. And with the right spirit, gin, now you've got a 2-bedroom. Named after the good-for-nothing president, Herbert Hoover, Hoovervilles were makeshift shanty towns that popped up all around the country due to the skyrocketing homeless population. Ironically, many of the men forced into these hovels were laid off from construction jobs and were able to make some pretty stable accommodations. You know, for junk. So what, you're saying I should just stay plastered and enjoy my little shanty home?
That's crazy.
Fat chance. For all this talk about Great Depression, there was an ironic lack of depressants. That's because for the first 4 years of it, Prohibition was still in full swing, making the importation or sale of alcohol a punishable offense. While
Alright, so it was 1920. I said 1919, so I was very close. Okay. Okay, I got that part right. I know something about history.
this didn't completely eliminate the consumption of booze, it did make it harder to obtain, propelling gangsters like Al Capone to riches as they built their empires bootlegging booze for battered bozos. So egregiously rich that
bootleggers booze for battered bozos. Interesting. I like that.
These gangsters get that Al Capone even opened a free soup kitchen in the heart of Chi-Town. I mean, with all this cash, paying for a bit of charity practically costs nothing. Because it didn't. But even with a healthy supply of happy juice, your life in a Hooverville was still bound to be quite the pain in the ass. Literally too, depending on your toilet paper. Huh? Oh yeah,
what?
it was only in the 1930s that Northern Tissue started selling a new kind of toilet paper that was,
Oh.
quote, splinter-free. An excellent marketing strategy, even if other toilet paper didn't have splinters. Hey, wanna try some of our soda? Oh, sure. Or you could try some of our new rat semen-free soda. Wait, hold on now. Well, all in all, this shack isn't too bad. It's maybe not the most delightful of accommodations, but, well, I have a roof over my head, over my waist. Gee, Alex, if you're gonna dance around the subject this much, maybe you should enter your local dance marathon. Dance marathons took off in the roaring 20s as a neat little competition to see who could make themselves look stupid the longest. I'm going on 8 years now. Why do I care about this? I thought I was looking for a place to live. Well, you see, Alex, this Great Depression wasn't actually the first. There had been one a few decades earlier that was retroactively named the Long Depression. But as we all know, it's not the size of the depression that matters, it's how you use it.
That is interesting. I've never heard of that depression before. So what is 1873 to 79 / 19? Are they saying some people saying it lasted for 6 years, and other times it lasted for like 23 years? Or 26 years? Interesting. I never heard of that one before.
And sure enough, there were plenty of manipulative opportunities for nefarious individuals to get ahead during these times. As the 1930s rolled around, these dance marathons were transformed into exploitative events, offering food and shelter to poor contestants for continuous dancing and the chance to win a large cash prize. What was once a bit of quirky fun turned into straight survival strategy, and these marathons went from lasting a few hours to a few thousand. The events became a sensation, becoming so popular that even movie theaters were opposed to them as they became such a strong business competitor. And I, for one, find it just tickling to imagine people.
Wait.
And the events
It's just like the recreation of Charlie Brown. That's what it looks like.
Became a sensation, becoming so popular that even movie theaters were opposed to them as they became such a strong business competitor.
Like the
and I,
reference
for one, find it just tickling to imagine people skipping out on The Avengers to go watch Timothy hit the stanky leg for a carrot. As odd as this may seem, keep in mind that laughing at the lengths poor people will go for a bit of oatmeal has been a time-tested crowd drawer for centuries, and these poor bastards had to do absolutely everything while in constant motion. I'm talking moving while you eat, sleeping on your feet, shaving to the beat, screwing in the sheet. Everything from bathing to even marriage was done in full view of a live audience. And I mean everything. With only 15 minutes of rest allowed for each hour of the day, contestants mastered the art of dropping unconscious faster than meeting Bill Cosby. But
Why? Why did you say that? Oh, that is really insane. I mean, desperate times calls for desperate measures, I guess. Like, you would literally do anything and to get the bare necessities, to just get shelter. You would literally pass yourself out multiple times just to get that. That is very interesting. I've not heard. This is a part I've never heard of during the Depression. I know of like the homelessness. I know people lost jobs, obviously. People lost money. I get that part, but this whole section I was not aware of. Very interesting on how people are able to get their homes or food. Just trying to make it day by day, pretty much.
Sporadic sleep can only do so much for staving off psychosis, and after weeks and weeks of these conditions, you can start to imagine why these were the equivalent of Marvel movies for sadistic individuals. I wonder if Iron Man dies. Under the extreme conditions, these marathons began to take on a bit of a reality show facade. Companies would sponsor contestants, men were arrested for bigamy, and one wife even murdered her husband in a fit of jealousy.
Oh.
Ref, do something! Disqualified! Good rhythm! Despite the atrocious conditions, you were still fed around 12 times a day, so many contestants would come out of these marathons having actually gained weight. The ones who didn't die from exhaustion, that is. Meaning you'll be in perfect shape for the involuntary fast you now have to endure, being broke and homeless again. I don't think I can do this. Then just end it all. No, not life as a whole, I mean living here. Maybe you're just not cut out for city life. What about farm life? Well, as you'd suspect, being your own boss and not having to worry about a factory's bottom line did shield you from the layoffs that plagued the common man. With nothing but your acres of land, your trusty hoe by your side, and your trusty hoe by your side, all you needed for success was water, sunlight, and fertile soil. Too bad you're 0 for 3. During the Depression, the US government was actually quite environmentally friendly. American policy had never before been so aligned with conservationism, for in the 1930s, both Mother Nature and Lady Liberty were 100% devoted to fucking Americans over. Introducing the Dust Bowl. Much like the Super Bowl, the Dust Bowl was a period of about 10 years where a terrible drought around Kansas came along and sucked the life and joy out of everything. From Texas to Nebraska, dust storms swept the not-so-Great Plains, killing people, crops, and livestock as they painted the skies in shrouds of death. You see, in the years prior, Americans were caught up in the belief of manifest destiny, or the idea that American settlers had a divine moral obligation to expand westward. Sure, much of these lands were occupied by native tribes, but I'm sure we can find room for them. Riding the high of civilization annihilation, these settlers...
no. That's a dark part of history.
Settlers decided to let it ride with their divine luck, believing in the superstition that the rain follows the plow, the theory that homesteading would cause permanent changes to an environment's climate, making it more humid. The idea was fueled by an abnormally wet period in the typically arid Great Plains, making it temporarily more suitable for agriculture, and leading these settlers to mistakenly believe their actions brought the rain. Finally, some rain. I wonder why it took so long. I don't know, but I did just kill this native family of 5 back there. Oh shit, hand me a trench gun. But the rain did not follow these plows, as after a drought began in 1931, all of the overplowed farmland had its soil blown away with the wind, creating the severe dust storms that would come to define the era. Obviously.
Oh wow. Dust Bowl region. Interesting.
We're much smarter today.
That's crazy.
We know this could have all been easily avoided with one Costco parking lot. In a life that was essentially Dune, but without the fun space drugs, your day-to-day challenges were practically defined by your new dust-filled environment. Bored of shoveling snow? Well, now you can mix it up. Giving a man a hand? Good luck finding it. Wife wanting dirty time? The sheets are ready, Romeo. The snow doesn't bring joy, just PTSD. You don't get a cough, you get dust pneumonia. And you don't have an outfit of the day, you have an outfit of the decade. Yet out here, the only ones to see your glow down is your livestock, and they're blind. But hey, look at the bright side. What? I'm looking. Now, to be fair, it is hard to get hit by an economic disaster when you never left one. While everyone else was hitting the Charleston without a care in the world, your 1920s were less roaring and more moaning, as the fall in food demand post-World War I had farmers in a severe crisis. So, while everyone else was getting knocked down, you were greeting them with the dusty floor. But despite all your life struggles, at the end of the day, you'll still have your family to go home to and give a big hug. And knock out with the static electricity.
Dang. Inside, visibly drop into the point. People couldn't see their hand in front of their face. There a tremendous amount of static electricity enough to short a car or knock someone out. That is crazy.
Holy, why would anyone want to live here? They didn't, of course. 2.5 million people would leave the Dust Bowl states in the 1930s in one of the biggest migrations in American history. Gosh, that poor old lady looks like she's been through a lot. She's 32. Jesus Christ. So whether living in the sticks or a musty pile of bricks, your Great Depression life is bound to be quite the challenge. But life, my dear Alex, is like a pendulum. For while times are hard now, they will be prosperous again. All you have to do is buckle down, find some shelter, and survive until the 1940s. Get drafted, and then survive the world's deadliest war. So, what do you think, Alex? Ready to face this depression head on?
Not really.
No, I give up. What? You win. Do whatever you want to me. I can't take this anymore. No, you're supposed to freak out and scream. That's your thing. Wait, come back! It wasn't all bad. Putt-Putt blew up. We got Social Security. Life expectancy increased due to lower air pollution and traffic. Alex? Well, hopefully he doesn't forget about the 14-day free trial for MyHeritage, which you can get now using my link in the description below. You won't forget, right, Alex?
He's gonna forget.
Great Depression, 1 out of 10 stars.
Yeah, 1 out of 10. Probably less than that. Oh, poor Alex. Oh, poor thing. That's right. Maybe next video he may get back up. Maybe. Depends on what the next video will be. Alright, yeah, that was an interesting video. It gave me... So, there's some stuff I never actually thought about what happened during the Great Depression. Which is very interesting. So, the like dance competitions and pretty much bounty hunters for the banks or whatever, for robbers. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. Again, I like BlueJay. I very enjoyed all their videos. So yeah, go ahead, comment down below. On what's your favorite part in this video? Go check out BlueJay. Check out all their videos. They are great. You would not be disappointed. And feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel as well. Alright. I feel like I just said that like 20 seconds ago. Look, I'm tired. Anyway, have a good night, morning, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.